with the challenging and creating something new. I don't know if people are familiar with Omaha Children's Museum, but tell people what you do there and how it's I think a testament of like to your creativity is that you do something almost completely different for your, like your day job.
Right.
Well, hello. You're listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast, where we uncover inspiring things about our community through the stories of inspiring people who call it home. I am Dee Harrell, and this is the creator of Oh My Omaha, the blog, and the blogosphere's friendliest face herself, Kim Reiner.
Hi there.
Hey, Kim.
Hi. How's it going?
It's going. How are you?
I'm great.
Feeling better?
I am.
Yeah.
It's still a little stuffy, but yeah.
Yeah.
Doing better. It's been half a year of illness in our house.
Yeah.
Just passing it around.
Hopefully you guys are on the end of it.
Yeah.
Before all the good weather.
I'm starting to feel like it's like daycare again. That kind of illness is bringing to the house.
Oh my gosh, right? I forgot about that. That's the worst. Yeah. Like every week.
Like,
like,
what is wrong with this? It's guaranteed.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then you watch children and you're just like, they lick and touch everything. Oh my God. I forgot about that. Yeah. I'm very long removed from that. So,
right.
But, well, I'm glad you guys are feeling better. Yeah. Cool. So, what are you guys up to with this whole spring and the...
I'm just starting planning.
Yeah.
Planning trips. Like, just because I think this winter I've just kind of took a break from planning road trips and stuff for the blog. And I'm just kind of back into, like, weather's nicer. We can start thinking about summer.
Yeah.
So,
any
daydreaming stuff.
Big ones?
So I really want to do at least one trip to Wisconsin for some reason. It's been in my mind since like, I think almost 2018 when I started planning like big summer road trips. I would plan like a week somewhere. Mm-hmm. And the very first one was a toss up between Michigan and Wisconsin because they both had lake beaches that looked lovely and outdoorsy stuff. And
Michigan. I forgot.
And we went with Michigan.
Mm-hmm. That was
so ever since then, that was so fun. So so I want to recreate something like that, but in Wisconsin.
Yeah, that's cool.
So
nice.
Reaching out to people.
Love that.
So
I'm going to Mexico. In May. That's coming up.
Oh yeah,
for a music festival.
Which one?
Goose.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. It's at the Algonzo Music Festival.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll be there for a little bit. But.
And I have we have a trip. Well, it's not family's not coming, but a trip to Florida at the end of the month. My dad is going to a wedding for a cousin's daughter, and my mom can't go, and he wants a +1.
Yeah.
So I'm going with him.
Oh, that's nice.
I'm like, it's a nice free trip.
Yeah. It does. The weather has really kind of prompted future planning. Yeah. I always find, oh my gosh, I had the best day the other day, literally just driving. I got a new windshield in my car, and it was It was like one of the really, really nice days last week. I don't remember. But anyways, I like rolled the windows down, and I have a Fiat, and so like I think that my system's awesome. I'm sure it's not, but I'm blaring it from and I was like, this is like the best. I love freaking just like driving, and having like sunglasses on, a nice drink, just blaring and singing. Like, I'm sure everybody else loves it when I stop at the stoplights. But I did revisit. Have I ever told you my short film idea? I wanted this for like 20 something years. It's kind of like this, like scoring a film, right? But like, what would the music be like if I was waiting in line impatiently at like Target? So like the whole film would just be no real speaking, dialogue, maybe just to give a sense of like the tenseness of the situation. But like, what would the music be playing in my head if I was like waiting impatiently at the DMV and then have to go and go to like a really boring meeting or something, and like what would my thoughts tell the story? What would the music of my thoughts or how I feel in those moments, and maybe just 20 minutes, I don't even know, 15 minutes short, I don't even know, like just something really, no one's been on it. I've literally pitched it to all my friends.
Okay.
I don't know, one of these days.
It's a good segue.
It is a great segue. I was like, wait a minute, that's a great segue. Yeah, so I'm pretty proud of that. But
So let's talk about our guest today, because he is a composer. This is Matt Walker. I know him from my days at Omaha Children's Museum, but he is an accomplished composer who's worked for stuff on stage, screen projects, and he's been doing that for more than 2 decades. So welcome to the show, Matt.
Yes.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So cool. Hey, so you want to be part of my movie?
I would love to.
Isn't it sound cool? I'm like, it sounds so awesome. I wanted to do it. There's a what's that? Oh, The Holiday, that movie with Jack Black's like the score guy, and he composes his walk, right? Like he's like, this is the song that's going to play when you walk up on stage, and I was like, God, that'd be such a great, like, I want to know what my walk sounds like in music.
Awesome. Yeah.
Anyways,
so what are you working on right now? Like, what film projects are?
Well, I just finished up a really busy season with the 20th annual Omaha Film Festival. Just wrapped last month, and I had 4 projects screen at that.
Oh, what ones were there?
So I did the feature documentary, The Roseman of Omaha by David Weiss. And then there's a short animation called Truth Detector Regifted. It was a sequel to something that debuted last year at the festival, a really kind of fun, kooky animation project. And then 2 shorts done by Christine Burright. One of them is called No More Good Meet Cutes, sort of like a 90s era throwback, like rom-com style film. And then a mockumentary style picture called Bobby Hayden Church, which was a blast.
Awesome. It was sold out. The film festival was sold out. I mean, I was going to maybe go, and it was one of those game changer, and I was like, I can't even. Like, it was sold out.
Oh, yeah, a lot of the screenings got filled up, which is really
awesome.
Can't ask for much more than that.
It's awesome, yeah.
So what or who got you interested in composing music, especially for film? That's what I'm really interested in. But I mean, I guess stage too. But what got you started in that?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. It's like I've done, various projects like bands and things like that years ago when I was in high school and college and things like that. But the film thing is relatively new, like within the last 5 years or so. And it sort of feels like a coming full circle moment for me, because the music that I probably fell in love with the most, or like the earliest, would have been film and things like that. When I was a kid, like that sort of predates like my rock and roll years and stuff like that. So, just sort of, it's something that I've always been interested in. And I'm just kind of coming back to it now. So.
That's awesome. So do you have a favorite score and soundtrack?
I don't know if I have a favorite, but it's when I was growing up and was a kid, the Walker family had like 10 VHS tapes, like, taped off TV, and half of which was comprised of the original Star Wars and Indiana Jones trilogy. So I would have, John Williams definitely soundtracked a lot of my childhood. So, I'm a sucker for a good tune. So I'm a big fan of his music for sure.
That's awesome. Nice. We just talked about Star Trek, or not Star Wars comes up a lot on like impactful.
That type of, I guess, yeah. For I think in our age group,
absolutely,
big impact.
Yeah, I would agree. Those are great.
So what is kind of like, walk us through the process of scoring something? So do you see like an almost finished product without the sound, or or they start talking to you through it at the beginning of the movie process?
Yeah, so I mean, usually I'm being brought on in like the post-production. The film is completely been shot, and ideally the edit is kind of put together and locked and everything. So the first step after I've been approached by one of the directors is to sit down, do what they call a spotting session, where you basically just watch the movie together and sort of decide where music should and shouldn't be, placed to best tell the narrative and the story and drive the action forward. So sort of starts with that, but also talking like big picture, like style. I mean, I a lot of the scores that I write are kind of orchestral in nature, or in like this sort of sound palette, but there's lots of sort of more contemporary sounds, of course, too, with like synths and guitars and drum machines or whatever. So it's kind of getting inside their head of what like the best like sort of sound world is for it, and really what they're trying to like hoping to achieve with it, or how it can help augment what they've already done. So from there, I kind of take all that home and start sketching out ideas, like big picture themes and stuff like that I can sort of like develop over the course. Even if it's a 5-minute short, you can still sort of like plant little melodic seeds that can sort of like still pay off even at the end of like a short film. And even more so with a longer feature length project.
That's awesome. Yeah, that would be, I love that. Honestly, that sounds so like up my alley. If I could focus a little bit more, but I love the idea of just, I speak more in music and lyric and poems than I do in actual speaking. I'm not really good at speaking very succinctly and, to the point. But I love the emoting, through it. Music, honestly, there's moments like you could be watching a film and it's fine, and then all of a sudden it's just like one beat and you're just like, and I will bawl. Like it just, I just love it. I'm very, very intrigued by it. I think it's so cool. Yeah.
And I was gonna say it's one of those elements where like people might not even notice that it's happening, but you notice when it's not there.
For sure.
Like if it's well done, it feels all part of the package. I'd say
it's really interesting, and I'm currently going to school right now studying like film scoring and things like that officially, and I've taken some courses on like music cognition and neuroscience and things like that, and they talk about how much like the same scene with different music can actually change what you're looking at in the scene, what you focus on. So they run these studies or experiments where with like a darker cue, people are like noticing the fact that the sky is kind of gray or something, or they're sort of like naturally pulling them into like attending to different figures on screen. And so it really does, it's like affecting you on numerous biological levels almost.
Yeah. Well, there's, what movie is it? It's with, I'm going to get his name wrong. It's like not the Keanu Reeves one, but like, it's all about like being up, right? And it's like the whole movie is just like chase all these things, and like there's moments when it's like down and you're like, I can recognize that there's like nothing happening, but when they bring it back up, I'm like not breathing. Like when they bring the cadence or the speed of the music up to like them running, I'm just like it feels like I'm physically impacted by that. I don't know if anybody else feels that way. I just think it's that's the psychology of it. It's really cool.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll see people like they call sort of like scoring against the action, where you might have some like really horrific war scene, but you have this sort of like lamenting soft music that's like sort of, commenting on it in a different way than like trying to emphasize the sort of visual calamity that you see on screen or something. So you can sort of like tug at different directions depending on, what the intent is.
Super cool. Is there a genre that you are like, I really, really want to score a blank action, adventure, thriller, horror,
Yeah, that's a great question. Honestly, like, no. And what I've luckily found is that I'm so interested in kind of everything. Like, I've been pleasantly surprised where I thought maybe when I started out, I probably pictured, I want to do sort of like more artistic and like obtuse sort of pictures and things like that, which is great. But I've done tons of comedies. I've done some like sort of psychological thriller shorts, a few documentaries. And it's just, I love being stretched and just, getting to play in the different like, emotional world that is set up by the film. So, I think that I just appreciate that variety.
I love that.
Do you like to go see your films when they premiere? Or are you like, I don't know, sometimes when I create something, I don't want to like read it or see it for a while.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, okay, I don't want to see it with people. I want to see it by myself.
Right.
Do you like having, like gauging the audience reaction and everything? Or
For sure. Luckily, a lot of creatives that I talk to will say, I'm sick of this, whatever their like medium is. Like I've been working with this and living with it for so long. Luckily for me, I feel like I tend to like my work more. Like the more I like listen to it, I might start out like, I think this is going to work. And then it's like, this is good. And then, I'm like really feel sold on it. So I guess that's a happy little quirk for me, but it's really thrilling to get to experience it with an audience, and, the shared experience of something in the theater is pretty magical. And of course, getting to see and hear it on the big screen and all of that's pretty exciting.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Share it with your family and friends. And all of that.
Oh, it's so cool.
So just kind of changing topics now, like, so with the challenging and creating something new, I don't know if people are familiar with Omaha Children's Museum, but tell people what you do there and how it's I think a testament of like to your creativity is that you do something almost completely different for like your day job.
Right. Yeah. So I'm the senior exhibit designer at the Omaha Children's Museum. I'm in my 14th year of being there in that role. And it came about in a sort of unexpected way. I mean, 20 years ago, I went to school for visual art and studied sculpture at UNO and didn't really know. I wanted to, do something with that, but I wasn't sure what that was going to be. I thought I was going to get my master's and be a professor or something like that. And I just ended up working as a carpenter at a really cool shop for a number of years, and then sort of got poached away at the museum. And it's been such an amazing opportunity to like put some of that creativity to use. So yeah, I do, I, along with a lot of other creative folks, help with concepting ideas for individual components. And then I spend a lot of time doing construction drafting and things like that. Sometimes building and putting the stuff together too. So
what's been one of your favorite exhibits there?
I think the first thing that I did there that I was like really, really proud of, and it's still probably like a top 5 piece. But I think it was in 2013, we did a show called A Bug's World. And
Loved that one.
I built this like 40-foot tall, like, or 40-foot long, like 12-foot tall climbing structure with all these different sort of interlocking platforms, and it was all sort of netted in. And it was sort of the first thing that I was just like, wow, I'm really proud of myself. and just to get to see kids and their families enjoy it and stretch myself. I mean, I've really sort of like, pushed myself on different ways over the years there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so going back to kind of Omaha stuff, right? So you born and raised here?
Yeah, I'm a lifelong Omahan so far.
I mean, it's great.
Yeah.
I mean, we kind of like it.
I know.
What do you, are there any like places or things that you like to do around town just that you frequent or that you would recommend to anybody?
Boy. I mean, I spend a lot of time staring at computer screens, like whether that's at my day job at the museum or pretty much all of my music making is spent on the computer, and my like coursework that I'm doing for school is on the computer. So anytime I can get outside and be in nature, that's like a good like reset and battery charger for me. So Omaha doesn't have like the most outdoor, recreation, but I love to go on a hike at Neil Woods or Fontenelle or someplace like that and just get fresh air and take in the sounds of rustling leaves and birds and life. So
and life, yes. Yeah. Outside of the buzz of the screen.
Exactly. Yeah. Away from electronics.
Love that. Yeah, we've been talking quite a bit about. We've talked about quite like hike places and going out, getting outside.
Yeah, I love Hitchcock Nature Center.
Yeah, that's another great one. Or is it Schmidt or Schramm?
Schramm.
Yeah, that's another good getaway.
It is a good one. And there's that one little one off of like 120th and Maple.
Yeah.
There's like that. What is that one called?
Heron Haven.
Yeah, I forget about that. And we went there again, and it was like it's so little and it's quaint.
I haven't been to that one yet.
It's unexpected because that's a busy intersection, but it's just kind of like Old Maple Road.
Yeah, on the east side.
And there's like it's a wetland sanctuary.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
nice.
It's totally free to visit, and I mean, it's a small amount of trails, but there's a little boardwalk over the water, and it's just like a sanctuary in the city.
It's
totally
really hidden, and you forget about it, and then you're like, oh, and it's quiet.
Yeah.
That's the weird thing
Almost
about
never
that.
see people there.
Yeah,
Maybe like a photographer there taking pictures.
Probably,
a lot of birds pass through there.
Yeah, it's really awesome. Yeah, forgot about that one.
Have you been to see the cranes before?
I have when I was younger, and then I tried going a couple years ago, and I was just a couple weeks off, and so like I'm just walking around, being like, "Yep, it's dead out here. It's March still, but it's been a while."
Have you gone?
Once my partner and I went. I think it was maybe this would be 2019, the year that it flooded, the river flooded, and they were still there, but their roosting spots were somewhat compromised because there's patches of water everywhere.
Yeah.
So it wasn't probably as like dense of viewing as a normal year, but it's really something to see.
I've gone up to DeSoto. They have they're not the sandhill cranes, but they have like a massive. I can't think of what type of bird it is, but they announce it every so often when like they start to appear, and it's like hundreds of thousands of little white birds, and they have to close off like trails and everything around that area, but you can view it from their visitor center, and it's loud and
It's loud.
Yeah, the sound is incredible of just that many animals in one spot. I mean, it's beautiful in its own way.
It is kind of like groupings of animals. It's a whole different experience. Like, the bat caves. I always feel that when I go to when I was in Tennessee, but when we go to like the zoo or something, I'm always like, what the? Like, there's squeaky. Just a different, squeaky, or the koi fish all gathered in that big pond at the zoo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. Have you ever closed your eyes and listened to that kind of stuff?
No.
It's interesting. Sorry. See, focus. I can do
like,
that.
so when I go, I'm there with the kids, and it's always like Charlotte's trying to pick up food off the ground to throw. I'm like,
Yeah, you're like,
she's
I'm
found
not-
a way to like shake down the machines to get food. So I keep an eye on her, like still trying to do it.
Yeah. Maybe
when they're a little
in the future.
older.
Yeah.
I'll go close
Go
my
there
eyes.
and close your eyes and meditate to the slapping fish. Okay, so what about restaurants?
Ooh, restaurants. One of my favorites is Lalibela, the Ethiopian restaurant on Saddle Creek. That's amazing food. Lola's is another top spot.
Nice.
Frequent that establishment frequently. Gosh, what else? I don't know. Those are a couple top.
Yeah.
top
Yeah. We talked about Lola's not too long ago with for the film for Swim Streams. Yeah. They got a lot of really cool things happening this year.
And they've got Fig down at their sort of second location at the Kiewit Luminarium too. So
Yeah, that's nice. And right on the river.
yeah.
Yeah. I love it down there.
Omaha has no shortage of good restaurants, I feel like.
Yeah. I've had friends who've moved out of town and have moved to what seemed like larger cities, but they're like, it's just not
It's not the same.
a local restaurant scene like we have.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's a credit to like MCC's culinary program.
Yeah.
Part of it, or a large part of it, is helping create a new wave of chefs, and they stay.
Yeah.
And their restaurant is great. Have you eaten at
Yes.
Sage? I think. Yeah. Delicious.
Yeah, we attract some really
Yeah.
big chefs to the area. I think it's awesome.
Have you done at Sage? They do like pairing dinners, and I think the students get to participate in that. But
Yeah, we went
Themed.
to, I think, like a lunch. So it wasn't kind of the full-on dinner experience, but
so they have like it's a ticketed thing, and we've done where it's they might do like they've done like a sangria pairing dinner, and so each course is a different pairing, and the students come out and present. And there's been one that was, I think, on Greek food, and
Sounds awesome.
oh my god, they right before COVID hit that March, they did a whiskey, an Irish whiskey dinner, and I don't really like whiskey, but I'm like, all right, I'll go with with our friend group, and they didn't pair it well. Like, you started out with like shots of whiskey paired with like it was almost like, have you done tastings where they'd have maybe like a lemon and some salt and like almonds, and so you just try to taste different drinks with it, but with whiskey. And so off the bat, like, everybody's already like tipsy before like real food, and by like the time like the dinner comes out and they switch to like Irish beer, and the chef realized that like everybody cannot leave. You have to find something to say. He created like a sixth course of like Irish bar food. Like, he brought like French fries and everything. Be like, all right, you guys sop this up. You guys are like,
that's awesome. French fries.
sloppy. It was like, okay, thank you.
absorb all of that
This
liquor.
was bad.
That's awesome.
Like, that was the only time where I was like, all right, we might have been overserved.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's elaborate, and they
That sounds
creative.
amazing. I'll keep my eye out.
Yeah,
for
right?
the
Yeah,
whiskey
they
dinner.
sell out.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
the whiskey dinner. Like they had Irish wines one time. And it's cool. Anyway.
That is cool.
It's definitely one of the ways I like to treat myself. I feel like I don't have too many sort of like, I don't know, spending addictions or something,
Yeah.
but like a really good dinner is like one of the best things
Worth
to
it.
like, sort of spoil yourself with.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's nice.
And I think Sage is a place to do it because it's more affordable than like.
Yeah.
It's still largely student
Right.
run, and so you're like, they're guinea pigs, but they're really good.
So speaking of Omaha, no shortage of. We have really great music venues too. Do you have any favorites of those for live music or?
Well, in the last several years, I've sort of most of the live music I go see is the Omaha Symphony.
Yeah.
As I've been studying orchestration and how all the different instruments work and things like that, I just have naturally been sort of interested in the sort of like classical repertoire, and they program a lot of great living composers too, kind of mixed in with your Beethovens and stuff like that. So most of my concerts are there, and it's just nice, like getting a little bit older, so it's like I get to sit down in a chair, and
Yeah.
I don't have to like wear my hearing protection, and I get home at 10 o'clock. So
That's awesome.
but back in the day, decades ago, I was spending like 4 or 5 nights a week at the Ranch Bowl or something.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
we just talking about Ranch Bowl and like Music Box.
yeah.
Man, I don't want to. That's aging us as we talk like that. The last symphony show I saw was with Cypress Hill when they did the thing at
Steelhouse,
Yeah.
cool. I didn't make it, but
We got to meet them. We got to go backstage. So it was really fun. But I was like, yeah, that's my last symphony with Cypress Hill.
I love that they really do offer something for everybody, because they do those. That was a really unique and exciting collaboration. But they sort of do these sort of pop music, concerts, or like film music where they'll play it along with Star Wars or something like that, and you get to hear the music.
I do
done
love
And
that.
we went and saw Coco when they did that.
Nice.
Took the kids. I'm like,
Yeah.
you do feel it's even more impactful than like music when it's just.
Yeah.
It was a neat experience.
So what instruments do you play?
Well, I started the guitar when I was a teenager, so that I would suppose is technically my primary instrument, but I also started playing the piano 10 or 15 years ago. That's really sort of what I would consider, I mean, that's what I play most often, and that's what I use. That's sort of conducive to like composing for me, at least in a way that guitar isn't.
Yeah.
So
Are you self-taught? Like,
no, piano, I'm taking some lessons,
Yeah.
and so I sort of gradually try and improve my skills a little bit along with, everything else. And there's never enough time. Sometimes I wish there was an 8th day in the week or something like that, because there's never enough time to get in practice and like I'd like to, but I love it. And another way to kind of like unplug, I bought myself a nice upright a couple of years ago, and I've kind of been working off a little digital piano for a long time, so kind of
That's nice.
get to have the real thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice. I miss the sound of piano.
yeah.
I grew up with it. We played it, the three of us all played, but I miss that sound. It's
Yeah.
comforting.
So like we bought a piano because Charlotte wanted to learn it, and she was taking lessons at her other school, and it turned out that it was like Henry, our son, that would just sit down and like annoy her because she's sitting there trying to learn books, and he would just sound out things and like compose his own little melodies. So like, anyway, I was gonna say, like, we had the piano now that neither of them touch it,
Yeah.
but I was like,
Then I'll just come over to your house and play.
yeah, please.
But I was
Just
not the
remind
kid.
them that it's there.
Like we took lessons, and I could read sheet if I had to, but I did not like to read sheet music, and so I'd always go by ear as well. I played a lot of Depeche Mode on my piano when I was little,
Love that.
because that was my whole thing. I was like, I'll come over. Yeah.
I did cello. I learned cello.
Oh,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's nice.
Yeah, and then like so when I stopped it and kind of forgot about it, and then like 10 years later, cello was like all the rage for indie music, and I'm like, I could have been some.
You could be on
still
tour
could.
right now,
Could
Kim.
be
You still could. They're in demand.
right. I was like,
You should.
Yeah, it's a beautiful
Wasted.
instrument.
Yeah, it is.
It's one of my favorites.
I just worked a video. I styled a video shoot 2 weeks ago, and the cellist, I was like, oh, like, I just wanted them to keep playing. There's a really soothing, like, I don't know, note to it. Like, I felt warm.
Cool.
Yeah, you should get. Do you still have one?
No.
Oh,
No. I saw like the Omaha Conservatory of Music. They have like adult lessons and stuff. Like,
Yeah.
If I were to ever take it back up, I
I think you should.
thought like, maybe.
That's where we were filming. We were at the conservatory,
Oh.
and I'm like, it's
have all sorts of
amazing.
stuff.
They
It's
have
a
all
great place,
sorts.
yeah.
Such great lessons, offerings, and the little, what's the coffee shop called again? Myrtle.
In Cyprus.
Yeah.
Yes, I love
good
that
coffee.
place. Yeah, they got great little treats and. Anyways,
I was just there last week. They do this series of, I think they call it Final Fridays, where they have like a lunch hour, noon hour free concert where there's a couple instructors that played a 20, 30-minute concert. And it was just
Wow.
like, they had free coffee from Myrtle and Cyprus. And it was just kind of a good way to spend the lunch break.
That's nice. I gotta look into
sounds
that.
awesome.
Yeah, that does. I was like, oh, I need to look into that. That sounds awesome. Cool.
Yeah.
Was there an instrument that you have always wanted to play but have not yet?
Well, I actually started out playing the cello in fourth, fifth, sixth grade too. I was sort of following in my older sister's footsteps because she played the cello. I think she played all the way through high school, but for whatever reason, I sort of lost interest in it when middle school hit, and then I picked up the guitar, and that sort of like set me down this totally different road. But I mean, sometimes I wish I could still play that just because I do find it such a satisfying instrument. So
I didn't play any strings. I want to. I've always said I wanted to take guitar lessons, and I signed myself up for some before, and something happened. I couldn't make like half of the lessons, so I had to cancel it. But there's something really intriguing about the strings, I think. I don't know.
So we ask all of our guests the same question at the end of our episode, and that is, where do you find inspiration in Omaha?
I've just always admired the sense of like community and the creative world of Omaha. I mean, I've sort of been in several different pockets of it, and mostly music, but I suppose decades ago when I was playing in like rock bands and stuff like that, I really that guitar was like the key to my social life, you know, in a lot of ways. I mean, it fed me creatively, but like it also sort of led to all of my friendships at the time in like high school and college. And then, you know, when I was studying art 20 years ago, I was spending tons of time at the Bemis and you know, meeting people there. And now kind of I'm sort of in the Omaha film community and, you know, meeting people in that respect. And I just find everyone so courteous and excited to connect and collaborate. And I think it's one of the things that's been most satisfying in my life about art making, is because there is this huge social, you know, aspect of it that really fills your soul.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
Yeah. And
I
the film
agree.
communities, it's growing, isn't it? Like, it seems like you said, like the film festival selling out shows and everything, it seems to be a growing and good to hear supportive community.
Yeah, it sure seems like it. And
Yeah. It's almost as if people are seeing, so commercially, it's like this shift, right? People are starting to need less crew because they're doing their own little thing. So because the technology's gotten better, that they don't have to hire as many crew. But in the same respect, people are just like, wait, I can do this thing by myself too. So like all these creatives that I've known and worked with in productions have been wanting to do movies. I've been wanting to do this. And then I think it's like kind of like this really cool moment where the marriage of like seeing some positions evolve, right? And the need for them evolve in that, what used to be traditionally that space. Now because of that same technology, now people who have been in that space get to do like branch out a little bit more because we're working, we have to, right? When that need for you goes away, then you get to open up creatively. And I think it's awesome because like there's so many of like my friends that are just like, yeah, I'm totally writing this script. I'm making this movie. I'm going to do this, and this. Like just it's kind of forced revolution kind of sorts, which is awesome. It's just booming.
It takes a ton of people to put a movie together, and when you see the credits and on these local projects too, it's just like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, so many people have to contribute their unique skill set.
Yeah. You know, it's funny you brought up credits. Sorry, I know we ended on that, but credits, because where I'm at on credits, I'm like way at the end, and if people leave during credits, then no one's going to see my. That's kind of where I started. So like now, so my partner and all of us, we stick around for all the credits. Even at home, we watch all the credits because I'm like, people who worked really, really hard to make this happen that's the only time they get recognized is when the credits are playing. And so you're just like waiting, and we try to read all of them and whatnot. But it's, I mean, if nobody's ever done it, read the credits because it's massive amounts.
And the composer usually writes a really great suite for the last
I was just going to say
so
that. I was like, you can sit and enjoy the music. Sometimes that's one of the better
cues. So,
correct. Yeah, I love that. That's literally what I was going to say. Sometimes you're like, oh, what is this song? It's great. Yeah. Is there anything else that you want to plug or say?
Well, so the first feature film that I got to score a couple of years ago, The Headliner, directed by Tony Bonacci, that just got picked up for streaming, so that's available to rent or purchase now on Amazon Prime Video, which is
awesome.
Super exciting.
So
we're
awesome.
Trying to sort of push that out there and encourage folks who didn't get to see it at the festival run, they can check it out online.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah. And the film actually features a lot of places we talk about. It's filmed all over. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Snippets of it. I was supposed to be an extra in it for a bit, and it never worked. But I work with Tony a lot, so a lot of it was filmed in and around. So you get
check
nice
that
little
out.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's great, yeah. And just expertly acted by my friend Derek Silkman, the lead, and Christine Burright wrote the script. It's super funny. It's a mix of like humor and heart, and I just really proud of it.
Awesome. So cool.
Thank you so much for coming in.
Yes, thanks
you so
to you
both
much.
for being here. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thanks for listening to Oh My Omaha, the podcast. We want to thank our guest, Hurrdat Media, all of you for your support, and the Omaha community at large.
So from D&I, keep on exploring.